You've seen them. You probably heard about them a little bit. But
Yeah.
the thing is, people don't talk about them as much as they should.
Okay.
I got my nigga wondering what the fuck is it?
1,000 thoughts came to my head. Like
It's called the Paraka skulls.
the Paraka skulls.
The Paraka skulls.
Is that like the crystal skulls? I heard of that. Okay. The elongated head.
Them elongated head.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They're called Paraka skulls.
Paraka skulls.
They were discovered in Peru back in
a lot of shit.
1928. Actually, hundreds of them were
This
found.
one got hair. Yeah.
That one got there, yeah.
A lot of shit's found in Peru. Yeah.
You know, look at this one right here. Look at that. Look at that. That's a big skull right there, fam.
So get into this. What?
So,
I'm pretty sure there's history to it.
man,
Uh-huh.
the crazy thing is they try to say that this came from skull binding.
Yeah, where they'll wrap something around the head, tighten it, and it'll.
And that's what they say. That's what they're going off of. Even though, if you look at these skulls, like, I mean, just look how large that is. You know, you could do skull binding. Here, hold up. I got us. Right here.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
prepared for this.
Yeah,
Right
they
here.
do this in Africa.
Right here, man.
Yeah.
So the thing is, and they try to kind of debunk these skulls right here.
Yeah. Either way, I'll put pictures up.
But I mean, even you could get the shape, right? But you can't get the volume, the mass of a skull like this.
Yeah.
So imagine the size of the brain that fits
That was in
this
that motherfucker. Yeah.
They gotta have like their third eye. Their pineal gland is probably
Twice or three times.
larger. So these people had to be. The crazy thing is, okay, so they did DNA testing on these.
Okay.
Right.
How'd that go?
I mean, they're just like, what the hell is this? Where'd this come from? I
Big
mean,
ass
so
skull.
there really ain't no history. We can't find a lot behind this, but I mean, they're just. I mean, when you look at them, of course, it's shocking. It throws you off, you know.
Yeah.
Some of these eye sockets, they're like 50% larger and shit than ours.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, so
Yeah.
it's
That's
crazy.
not normal.
But okay, so they did some DNA testing on some of these.
Yeah.
Some of these skulls, right?
Yeah.
And they said not native. That's what they want to call it. That's what they want to say. Not native. So the mtDNA in this has not been found in any hominids here.
Okay.
So there's no link to any Homo sapiens or anything else. So if it's not human, then what the fuck is this? But I think so. Back then we had. If you read into the Sumerian tablets, you'll learn about the Anunnakis and
I was just about to
some
say
beings also called the Gigis.
Yeah.
The Gigi people.
Uh-huh.
And that's where you get this dude, Pharaoh Akhenaten.
Okay.
This dude also had a elongated skull.
Yeah.
This Pharaoh right here. Okay. And actually, I mean, what the hell would cause somebody to try to do this shit? You know what I'm saying? What would cause somebody to want to do that to their head?
To elongate it on purpose?
Elongate it. Get that shape. Well, I
see what you're getting
I
to.
believe
they're trying to mimic
they were
something.
trying to mimic their gods.
Yeah.
Their gods, their masters, whatever the fuck you want to call them.
Yeah.
But I believe that's what they were trying to mimic.
As from what I remember, this at one point was a standard of beauty. Like I guess if you had an elongated head, they would see that as beauty, you know. But I do see what you're saying. Where are they getting this construct from? You know what I'm saying?
Like what would cause somebody to do that?
Because a lot of cultures look at other cultures and they're like, damn, their women are beautiful, and let's say they braid their hair a certain way. Well, now they're gonna try to do that. So that does make sense, right? There's no point of elongating your skull.
I mean, why
for
would
no
you
fucking
do that?
reason, right?
But
Unless
I think
you were
trying
influenced.
to be like their god.
Yeah, that makes a lot.
Like
That makes a lot of sense.
That's
bro.
what I believe.
No, hell yeah.
So you got Akhenaten. The crazy thing about this dude is all the pharaohs before him, their heads were just normal.
Okay.
They had normal skulls and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm. Then
you get his daughters. His daughters also had elongated skulls.
Okay. Yeah. See this skull right here was. It's a regular skull just being forced one direction. This skull was that's how it is.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so so our skulls, we have plates,
Yeah.
Plates, they end up binding together and stuff like that. Almost like tectonic plates on Earth.
Right, that's crazy.
We're just miniature forms of the universe, man.
Makes sense.
Type of stuff. But
imagine if Earth is just a head. Yeah.
I mean, it
could be a dusty ass fool, huh?
It mimics, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so these skulls right here, some of them don't even have these plates.
Oh, it's just a solid piece.
It's a solid. It's a one
shit.
plate. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
But their skull don't bind like ours do. And that's where they were like, nah, they can't be.
It can't be human.
They can't be doing skull binding because you can't. That takes a different type of DNA.
I see what
like,
you mean.
You know what I mean? You have to be born like that, or your DNA has to construct like that. You can't just. Yeah, you could change the shape of your head by skull binding.
But you're still gonna have the 3 tectonic plates.
Type of shit. And it's not gonna be as large as it. This is a sculpture that they did.
Yeah.
Them 1,000 years back. They never found her actual head. But you could go see this. It's in a museum somewhere in Egypt.
Bro, and it's crazy because I know how detailed they are. So if it did have those plates that you're talking about, they would be in this image.
Yeah.
Because they don't skip details like that.
I mean, look at that. That's crazy. So that's his daughter, right? He had many daughters like that.
Okay. So these are Paraka skulls, like that. So that is the name.
Are in Egypt. No, that's not the name. That's the name
of the ones in Peru.
Of the ones that I showed you.
What are them?
Let me see these here. Because they found hundreds of these over there.
Okay, but these right here are fucking weird.
I mean, look at that.
That's a solid piece.
That's a solid piece right there. Look at that.
And it's a skull.
This one even got hair. I mean, you ain't making this shit up. Man. Come on, man. Like I said, they did the DNA testing, it's coming. This motherfucker is not human. This is not human. Look at this shit. Even the paper bigger than my shit. But it's crazy. But so another thing, that they can't debunk is that these skulls here, what you'll find on them is this hole here where their neck connects to. It's more to the back of their head, I guess to carry all that weight.
Carry all that fucking weight, heavy ass head.
That big ass head, big ass brain.
That's crazy.
But it's more to the back. If you look at our skulls, normal skulls,
it's in the center.
It's in the center. You find it in the center. So that also tells you that
then that's not human origin.
Skull binding. You can't. You don't get that from skull binding.
So that means this head was had more mass, more. It was just more bigger than a regular head.
That's a different type of DNA right there. You can't.
That man, I've heard about the placement of the vertebrae.
Also, I believe this one's a lot larger than the one.
Like
they had a larger neck. They had larger eyes. Who the fuck were these people? Who are these people? Also, look, check this out.
Okay, yeah. What you got?
Look at this one.
Cause I'll at the end I'll throw in my little.
Look at this.
Okay.
These skulls, a lot of these skulls also, they found surgical marks.
Oh,
they had
yeah, I've heard
surgery
about
done
that.
to them. You probably can't see it up there,
But I'll put it up there.
But man, these people had to be intelligent. Also, I mean, they gotta be. Look at their skulls.
I've heard about them. Like they find skulls and it seems like they had dental work and surgeries, like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And they've also found some with like gunshot wounds and shit like that.
Yeah,
like some had shot it.
Some of them had been hit in the skull and shit.
Yeah.
They'll find big ass holes in their head.
What?
But back in the day, you know, like it even talks in the Bible about wars and stuff they were doing with each other. And I believe that's what happened there for them. And they were leaving their... I don't know. This stuff just threw me off.
Have you... Man, let me find it. Because have you found a human rendition of it? Like basically someone takes a skull and they add meat and muscles to it to see what comes out?
I think there is some.
Man, I gotta show you one. Hold on.
But the thing is, like, where did this come from? And I believe it. It was just some of these Anunnaki beings and stuff that you'll read about in the Sumerian tablets and shit. There was another race out here. The thing is why don't a lot of people talk about these skulls?
Because it goes against their beliefs.
I guess
something.
So. I don't know. But this is...
Man, I wish I could find
the real shit that you can go see. Look at that damn...
Man, I can't.
Like that, it just throws off all our history. You know what I'm saying? People
see, look, something like that. So this is how they would look. Man, I can't really.
Oh yeah.
Where they reconstruct it, so it would look something like that, right? And there's Egyptian gods with that.
That's probably why they wear them. What is it? A lot of them wear these hats
to cover it.
To cover their head.
So, man, there's a lot we can get that we can get into, but is there any more you want to throw out there?
I want to cover more,
but yeah,
that's all I got right now.
That's all you got.
But
all right,
hey, that's interesting.
But let me. All right, so let's get into this. So, because I've looked into this a couple years ago, and these are, man, how can I put it? From what I remember, correct me if I'm wrong. Some of them are Anunnaki.
Yeah.
Basically, it's believed to be, right?
Well, we don't know what the hell they are. We, like I said, they did the DNA test.
Yeah, we don't even know what the hell. It's not human, right? Minimum, it's not human. So right. So would you believe me if I told you that there's people that walk this earth that have those skulls?
I think I heard of something like that.
I can think of two people right now that are still living and have those skulls and are actually within the 0.001% of wealth and damn near control the world. Look, let me show you one.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Well, look, the Pharaoh was running it.
One of his name is
These people come
Jacob.
from a bloodline. They come from a certain bloodline. And, you know, like back in the day, when they said that some of these fallen angels were mating with mankind, this could be like an offspring from that shit. You know, just like you got the Nephilim giants and all that. It's interesting.
Look, supposedly this guy.
Oh, hell yeah, I see that.
Look, this is right there, the elongated skulls. So this right, I'm pretty sure you heard of Lord Jacob Rothschild. He is I believe it, bro. This guy, from my conspiracy investigations throughout my life, it had a part to do with the invention of the Federal Reserve and money and all that shit, right? This guy is the echelon of the echelon, the highest up there. People even say that he's the owner of money. He's worth like $400 trillion, whatever. And the one thing that trips me out about this guy is he has no public appearance. He's very hidden.
Really?
And the people who have been around him say he doesn't feel human. And there's even been like people that have said he is not human, but he is here to make sure the human race is in order.
Yeah, and they've been doing that for thousands
of years, bro.
That's where you get this dude right here from. That's
Exactly.
what the pharaohs used to do.
Exactly.
Man, and the interesting thing about this pharaoh here is he was the one who started pushing the one God religion here.
Okay.
That he got from Amun Ra, or the sun disk god. So he started changing everything about religion and all that stuff. And man, I think they were just trying to. They found out that having that one God religion, it would keep people under their control and stuff like that. They found the power in it, anyways.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I believe this same bloodline here, these elongated skulls, they've been having part in and running things since the Pharaoh times and still to this day. That's why, I believe you're correct on that dude right there.
Yeah.
Who was
that? Jacob Rothschild.
Jacob Rothschild.
Hey, that dude's got a crazy story, bro.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. But I've also heard of man, I'm trying to find the Pope's name, but there's a Pope that has that same head too. And he covers it with the hat. It's not Pope Francis. Man, I gotta find it.
You see a connection there?
Yeah, but the people in power have those fucking heads.
Man, dude.
Hey, and Rothschild, bro. I've seen a video where some lady or a guy comes up to him on the street, like he just walked into the street, and he's over here accusing him, like saying how does it feel to lead the world to destruction, Yeah. And his fucking head is like fucking elongated, bro.
Damn.
And he is a person of power, and exactly what you were saying, these people are still in power. They've been in power for thousands of years.
Since the beginning of mankind, of modern humans, from Adam.
Yeah.
From the way beginning.
Way beginning.
Yeah.
Man, and the more I think about it, like, man, that would really fuck up someone's mind, for them to think about that we're not in power. You know what I'm saying? That these fucking
and after
other beings are in charge.
Even though they created us. They created us. They created us in their image. That's exactly that's what they're talking about in the Bible when they say that we were created in the image of God.
Yeah.
These people actually altered our DNA and mixed it in with theirs. I'm not saying that they created us from scratch, but what they did was take a hominid being that was already here, and they mixed it in with their DNA, and that's where they got the first human, which is Adamu, which would be Adam. That's where you get that from. And then you had them people using us as slaves back then.
Yeah.
To mine for gold.
Oh, to mine for gold. That's a whole
nother story.
Cheap labor, huh?
But
that's crazy.
Basically, they've been running this planet since
thousands of years, even till now.
Even till now, man.
And
they ask for proof. People be like, "Well, where's the proof at that these Anunnaki beings and shit were here?" Well, here's your proof. This is the proof right here. Look
Explain
at this
that
shit.
skull, huh?
Explain this shit. You can't explain that shit.
This right here trips me out. Right here, the fucking the placement of the vertebrae. See, this one's in the center. Where's that other one? And that other one's way off to the back.
Way off to the back.
And that makes sense because of the fucking weight of it.
Yeah. And that's not done by skull binding.
No.
That's genetically.
No.
That's a genetic condition right there.
Whoa. That's some crazy shit right here. But yeah, exactly what you were saying is I believe that 100%. These people are still in charge. And man, the more I think about this system we live in, bro, how everything connects with each other. Man, bro, like that a very intelligent being or beings had to come up with this system, bro.
Oh yeah, Yeah,
I don't even think humans are.
It's these same dudes right here with these big ass heads.
They created the economy. They
Yeah.
created trade. They're the ones that keep other countries in poverty to benefit
Yeah,
us.
you had to be intelligent
Commerce,
because they made a damn good system.
the law system. Damn, there's no way humans can. I don't know. I've
Man, they've been doing that for thousands of
for
years.
thousands of years.
So-
How to control
and
the
they perfected
people,
it. They got it.
manipulation, mass propaganda. No, mames, bro.
They
That
got it pretty good. But I mean, they've had thousands of years to do it.
elongated skull.
I mean, just like what we're talking about, I believe that all of the presidents as well,
Yeah.
they come from the same bloodline. It's the same
Oh, yeah.
family.
Yeah, there's an 8-year-old girl that discovered that for a school project.
And that
All the
follows
presidents.
exactly, and that's why this stuff is important because I mean it's the same shit. It's
Yeah.
the same shit.
Yeah, all presidents from the beginning except for one all connect to a man, I don't remember if it was a Roman king but they all go back into a
And
king.
who is that one that got away?
Man, I don't really remember exactly who it was. But there was only one. And the crazy part is that means even Obama, he's another
Yeah,
skin
even
color.
Obama,
He's related to the Clintons. I don't know fucking how, but all that. So that means they're keeping their family within power,
and power, yeah, just like they
even though it
been-
doesn't seem like it. That's crazy how that shit works, bro.
Yeah, they've been left with that power though when these Anunnakis left from here, and they left certain people in charge.
Man, I even heard an interview where they were saying there was an interview that said that the Anunnakis or whatever they left, but they left certain people here,
Yeah.
or they left certain
People in charge.
in charge. So no matter what goes on, they're always
Man, I got some some other shit, but I think I'm gonna say that. For,
So what is the point of so much control? Like we're
man,
like, they're-
that's
they're-
a tough one. You got some bad Anunnaki, and then you got some good ones as well.
yeah.
And I think the control is coming from the bad ones. You know, but there's always you got yin and yang. There's always yin and yang.
Yeah, there's always-
light
yeah.
and darkness, and they've been trying to fight for control over this earth for a long time. You know, it's crazy ass shit. But it's crazy how you go from these elongated skulls to bloodlines ruling and running the earth.
Have you heard of the Star Child skull?
The Star Child School.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
This one.
Oh, hell yeah, I think I have.
They fucking fixed it up, and it looks like a fucking little baby
like a little
alien.
gray.
Yeah, a little gray alien. Look at that. It doesn't match.
You know what's crazy? I forgot to mention
Uh-huh.
is that they found 2-year-olds with
With
these
elongated skulls. Oh, shit.
And so their head was the same size as their torso. And their
shit.
teeth, man, I forgot to get a picture of it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they also had teeth in its skull, in its jaw still. And it was like the teeth of a 12-year-old. You know, so that
But as a 2-year-old.
as a 2-year-old. And so that's right there, that's not normal. That's
Man,
not human. And
you got to think about it. Like,
that shit.
let's say, they're coming from another race. Nothing says that their anatomy is even close to ours. So we might have, I don't know, what's the best way I can put it? Like our teeth grow a certain way, but their teeth, exactly like you were saying, might be more advanced than us. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to get to is, of course, their anatomy is gonna be way different than ours. I'm pretty sure those skulls are thicker, more.
Oh yeah.
Way more advanced, you know what I'm saying?
Heavier, you know.
Yeah.
It's not human.
No, it's not human.
But
Man, I'm gonna find more cause there's a lot of people in power who have those fucking skulls.
hey, that we need to get into that.
But
next.
I'll find those and I'll put them up on the screen because that's a good topic to
and I
think
should have
about.
did a little bit more research, but Man, it's just so much to get into.
Yeah, bro.
Once you start here, it leads you to here, and then man, you get off track and shit.
Yeah.
But man, it's something that everybody needs to look into. I mean, it's important history, and we don't discuss this type of stuff a lot. Everybody worried about Columbus and shit. Like, fuck Columbus, man.
Who? Christopher Columbus?
Christopher Columbus.
Man, did you know that before he discovered America, there was a whole group of people that discovered it before him?
There's people here already.
Right, that's what I'm saying, and he just claimed
hey, this is my shit.
See, but that goes into the school system. That's what they're teaching us. They're not going to teach us these schools.
Motherfuckers are teaching us that.
Yeah. A guy that's connected to Jacob Rothschild, the guy I showed you, is John D. Rockefeller. He's the one who basically stole the school system from the people, because back then they used to teach herbal medicine. They used to teach they wanted people to be in harmony, peace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what Jesus was trying to teach.
Yeah. Yeah, but then what's his name? John D. Rockefeller, he started the oil business, and he realized, and this is a straight quote from him, "I want a nation of workers, not thinkers." John D. Rockefeller.
Hey, if you think about it, that's what the Anunnakis created the human race for, was to work.
It trips me out. Hold on, I'll get into here in a little bit, but basically he said, "I want a nation of workers, not thinkers." Mm-hmm. So, because he at that time he was already a billionaire. He found Standard Oil. He monopolized the oil industry. He even to this day, like man, I don't remember the exact percentage, but a lot of the oil is still like under his name. So this guy was so rich that he would sponsor schools. This is like in the 1930s or before, around that time. He would sponsor these schools to like give them millions of dollars with the condition of the school has to teach what he wants taught. You know what I'm saying? And so the schools would agree. But at that point, the schools, they would teach what he wanted, but then they'll go back to what, these schools were really about at that time. So he would send people to the schools to watch the teachers to make sure they're teaching what he wants. Because he understood people are workers. You can enslave a fucking a world. You know what I'm saying?
They don't teach us a lot of shit in school.
And it all goes down to how they're brought up and taught. You know what I'm saying? But the crazy part was when John D. Rockefeller was coming up, him and Jacob Rothschild linked up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he had connections with these people, with these elongated skull people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And whenever that came up, he met up with these people. His perspective on the world was very different. Like he looked at people as slaves. He looked at people as, you can make them do this. Like he built a system where people would basically work, and at the end of the money trail was him. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, think about it. We go to school to learn and shit how to do this and that. That way, when we get a job, we'll be successful at having a job. You go to college, that way you could get a good job.
Yeah.
They ain't teaching nobody how to be a boss.
I had to learn how to do my taxes by myself. I had to learn how to credit, mortgage. Bro, as important as a mortgage is, why the fuck is that not taught in school? Because
for the exact reason you were talking about, that's crazy as shit. That's crazy.
Man, bro, and trust me, that's the beginning with John D. Rockefeller and the Rothschild. These guys took over the pharmaceutical media, as in radios, Disney, education, man,
everything.
They took over, and the crazy part was before that. Did you know that shit was electrical? I used to have a coin from 1895, man, and I gotta find that coin. But it was of a electric car company. What? Yeah, the first cars were electrical, And I didn't know. I didn't know that John D. Rockefeller and the Rothschild, whenever they created the combustible engine, they realized, we're like, damn, so we can tax people, on gas, and then it'll burn up, and they'll have to keep coming back to us. Damn. So John D. Rockefeller started taking up all the electric trains.
These motherfuckers.
Right, and switching them out with combustible engine trains, and the crazy part was he was fined for all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because that's monopolizing. He's trying to take over the electric business.
Yeah, Tesla was real into that.
But the crazy part was all they did was fine him. Right, $5,000 at that time in 1930s or 20s. It is a lot of money, but to him, he's like, 5 racks. That's it. Like, shit, I'll keep putting these shit in and let them find me all the way. Because fines, look, fines are only for poor people. You know what I'm saying? So, let's say I want to park in front of a building, but if I do, I'll get a $200 fine. If I'm poor, like, fuck that, $200 is a lot. But if it's some billionaire, like, $200, what the fuck? I'll park where the fuck I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, rich people look at fines as a part of their life. They'll just pay it off. So fines don't work for the rich. They only work for the poor. Makes sense. So that's how he was able to advance, and take and monopolize. He just kept paying the fines. But that's what happens when you fuck with these elongated skull people, bro.
Yeah,
they give
smart.
you... They're smart, bro.
They're running shit.
Bro. And we're talking... The Rothschild, he has bases in Antarctica. What? Yeah, you gotta get into Jacob Rothschild.
Yeah,
George Soros. Yeah, bro. Hey, this is some heavy hitters, bro. But they're elongated skull people. Mm-hmm. And they'll hide it too. They'll put on some shit on their head. They'll try to hide it.
That's crazy, huh?
They exist, bro. They existed and they exist. Yeah, exactly, bro.
That's probably why you don't hear a lot about this.
Fuck
shit, right?
no.
Imagine if we could take their DNA.
Shit.
Damn, I wonder what we'd find on theirs.
Right, some fucking.
Hey, I wonder if somebody ever thought of that shit. Take their DNA, nigga.
There's.
I wonder if somebody's ever got that shit.
I do know they keep their DNA within their family, as in they breed with their sisters, because they don't want to mix DNAs. No, I swear to God, bro.
Trying to keep it royal.
Hey, bro. Another thing I learned about these rich people, bro. The elongated skull people. I'm gonna start calling them that.
That's what we ought to call them.
They fuck with numerology heavily, bro. Numerology. It's crazy, like 9/11. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a very specific number. Yeah. Also, the war ended at 11/11.
There's power in that shit.
There's power in that shit. But do you know how crazy the power gets? When this to me trips me the fuck out. That let's say they want a child in power, right? Because supposedly the dates you're born on and the names you have go into effect of how you're going to be when you grow up, which is, kind of makes sense. Which is a part of numerology. That's why some people are masculine, some other men are beta, some men are in the middle. There's never one set human, like there's got to be a balance,
Yeah, it's got to be balanced.
So I didn't know, but that there's dates that are of power, you know what I'm saying? So like if a child is born on this day, he is said to carry power in the future. But I didn't know that these fucking elongated skull people, they'll have C-sections on the day that they want the baby to be born. So basically, supposedly it's pretty simple, right? All you got to do is, let's say you want the baby born on September 11th. Well, you just count 9 months before that. You get the girl pregnant then. And when the date comes, it should be close. They'll take the baby out on purpose. Simple, supposedly it's that simple.
Man.
But the crazy part is they do shit like that. And all that shit's been leaked by people.
They know a secret about it. They know a secret.
They know something about
There's a power into it.
Within numbers.
Know it,
These elongated skull people, bro, they
elongated skull motherfuckers, man.
Cause any
I need to
pe
grow my shit.
put some tape, no,
I
or
wonder, man, they gotta be mimicking that shit.
yeah, bro.
I mean, come on, there's
Bro,
no other explanation for that shit to why somebody's gonna start tying some
shit
boards
to
around their
elongate their
baby's
skull.
head. Come on,
Exactly.
man.
Bro, but that reminds me, bro, and I never connected that until you told me. But man, like right when you said it, man, like 100 different examples came up about how like these primitive cultures, like in Africa. There was this one where a white woman visited one of these countries, and they saw her so beautiful that when she left, the people, the girls started bleaching their shit, their skin. They wanted to be lighter.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
Man, they got something called cargo coats.
Yeah, hey, I put that in that episode, the ones that we did, the last episode.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Damn, I must have forgot.
You gotta watch the episode, bro.
Yeah,
It's all in there. Yeah.
Well, man, you see, all this shit ties it together.
Yeah.
It
Oh
ends up
yeah.
tying together,
Yeah,
man.
okay, yeah, with the cargo, yeah, because they were trying to mimic.
They try to
Fuck
mimic
USA.
and shit like that. Yeah.
That's just primitive people, man.
But I mean, if you think about it, when the Anunnakis came here, and showed up, they had these hominids and shit like that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's why we were calling them gods.
Yeah, exactly.
We started calling them gods and all this stuff.
Hey, bro.
Man, that's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole nother.
That's
But
a whole nother
look,
thing.
let me throw this little piece in. I was watching a documentary the other day. I don't want to say because I do want to talk about it some other time, but I'll just say a little piece. They went to a primitive country in Nicaragua. Like these people were no, it was Brazil. These tribes, bro, where they're still fishing with sticks. You know what I'm saying? He wanted a part of a territory there, but the tribes people owned it, or they habited it, but he wanted it. Bro, this motherfucker, you won't believe what he did to scare these people away. He played God. How the fuck you play God?
Man, hey.
So look, this is what the fuck he did. He hid a bomb behind a rock, right? And he had told them, if you guys don't leave in a certain amount of time, and the bomb went off, saying that he has the power to do shit like that. Hey, these people got so fucking scared and bounced.
Oh, man.
And they saw him as a demon. Like he has magical powers. The more primitive you are, the more they believe in magic. They believe in, like, that shit would fool them. You know what I'm saying? But to someone who knows, they can see the fragments.
That's
like,
how we were back then.
Yeah,
we weren't
easily controlled.
Easily controlled. And
Exactly.
that's how these Anunnakis took full-on control about that shit. And man, that's why God got mad in the Bible when the serpent taught Adam and Eve that they were naked, nigga. They wanted to keep us slaves, and that same God right there in the Bible is probably them same motherfuckers that you're talking about that are running the earth now. Oh, the same bloodline. Anyway.
Yeah, the elongated skull people.
The elongated skulls. That shit sounds crazy, but look into that shit.
Look into it. Hell yeah.
I ain't trying to fucking bash nobody, but once you start doing your research, man, we've been fooled. We've been fucking fooled.
I can definitely say there's a big part of history we do not know, and there's a certain couple of people that we don't know about that are really running the show behind the curtains.
I wonder if anybody ever actually thinks about that. Like, who the fuck is running the show? A lot of people know about the president, and shit like that, the government, but like, who is behind it all?
You know what trips me out about the word president? The word president. So let's say you have a company, right? You're gonna have a president of the company, but he's not the owner. There's someone behind him. You know what I'm saying? So basically, like, let's say Trump, he's just the president of the country, which translates to president of this corporation. Of this company called America.
What the fuck is a social security, nigga?
A bank account?
This nigga, man.
I'm done, bro.
That's crazy. That makes sense, though.
I can get deep into that.
The company of America.
Yeah. Because our Putin talked about that once. He said whenever you become president, you think you're on top. Hell no. Then the people in black suits come into your room and tell you how shit's really ran and how Putin said that in an interview. Yeah, he said that shit in an interview.
Oh shit.
He said American presidents are nothing but puppets.
You ought to bring that motherfucker up.
Bring him in the studio, get him. Damn. Tucker Carlson interviewed him a while back. I ain't seen the whole episode, but I do need to watch it. But yeah, bro, he said that. He said there's people. Just look at it like this. Trump is just the president of the company, but he's not the fucking owner. There's people behind the scenes on that, but they'll never claim they're bosses. It's crazy how the people who are the boss aren't really the boss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Man,
yeah.
It's
It's some crazy shit.
some crazy ass shit, man.
That's some crazy ass shit, but yeah, bro. That's some crazy shit about them elongated skull people.
We gotta get rid of them niggas.
Imagine, bro, you try to fuck with them, 100 of them pop up out of nowhere and shit.
They too smart.
Hell yeah, bro. They got technologies way ahead of our fucking time. The ones that are here are just here to make sure everything's in order. Imagine behind them.
Oh yeah, it gets even deeper.
Yeah.
You past the president, nigga.
Yeah.
Way past that.
All right, so basically, I ran into this crazy ass story about an alien interview / interrogation that was fucking snuck out of Area 51 in 1996. This is a crazy ass fucking story, bro. And the dude snuck out a VHS tape of an alien interview.
Man, I think I heard of some shit like that.
Yeah, and this shit happened in February, July 26th, in 1996. This guy. He only goes by Victor. That's it. We don't know his real name. Blah blah blah. Right? Just call him Victor. Called a company called Rocket Studios. They work with Hollywood. So they received a call from a guy named Victor saying he had a videotape of an extraterrestrial. Well, the guy heard this shit and he thought it was a prank. You know what I'm saying? He's over here thinking that it's probably my brother. Trying to pull a fast one on me or whatever. So he hung up, said no. But then he called his brother, like, hey, did you call me? He's like, nah. So he's like, no, hold up. Let me call this guy back, right? So he hung up on him and then he called him back. But then later he said yes, he, the thing about it was Victor wanted to sell the video to him. You know what I'm saying? And, but he wanted to sell it to him, but the guy Victor didn't want to be on camera. He didn't even want to be in the presence of anything. He just wanted to sell the video and then he disappears from the face of the earth. But the guy said, I can't do that. For me to buy this, I at least need a testimony from you. Yeah. He doesn't want to reveal his face, so they'll respect that. They're like, okay, at least give us your testimony. There's no point. Something, right? So he agreed, even though he hated to do that shit. But he sold the tape. Victor sold the tape to Rocket Studios for $20K. Back in that time, it's a shitload of money, That
shit must be real interesting.
Right, and this happened in 1996, bro. $20K back then. Fuck, I would say that's probably up towards the 50s, 60s, thousand compared to now. You know what I'm saying? So that was some bread back then, So the guy buys the fucking tape, and they watch the tape, and look, I actually have the fucking tape.
Yeah, let's see that motherfucker.
Yeah. But this is all what is it called?
Let's see what it's talking about.
Let me rotate this. Right, so here's Victor.
Let's see what's up.
And here's the tape. It's 2.5 minutes long.
That's that nigga.
Yeah, that's the alien.
Look at that skull on him, fam.
Yeah, big as fuck. But look how. Oh shit. Hold on.
That almost looks like them skulls
that we were just talking about. But look, let me fast forward because it's really just that. But look, if you notice, there's a monitor. They don't know if it's for check his heartbeat, and there's these numbers down here, right? But look, because it's basically just him moving around and.
He's just chilling.
Right. First, we'll watch the video and then we'll get into it. Right here, he starts feeling bad. So doctors rush to the help. You know, right there you can see the fucking elbow right there, with the light shines it. You see it? His arm. Right, and the crazy part is it took them a while to get to him. There's a video that it's 2.5 minutes long. Damn. And you know they were late to his aid. You know what I'm saying? Like he was feeling bad. So this video was supposedly smuggled out of Area 51 from the S4
What's his
facility.
Name? Does he have a name?
The alien?
Yeah.
People think they honestly no, but there's a guy named Dan Bursch who also worked at Area 51, same facility, same time, and said he worked with an alien that he says is that one, that its name is J-Rod. So we'll just call it J-Rod, right? J-Rod. That J-Rod. And J, and believe it or not, man, I didn't investigate this, but J-Rod has to do something from where it's from. But I'll do that in another episode. Like, you would think the name is stupid, but nah, the J is like for the light years away that its home place is, and the rod is like, some crazy shit, bro. Yeah. Right? So basically, right, when we look at the video, right, obviously we can see the monitor, right? Uh-huh. And Victor, this video had audio, right? But he took out the audio to protect the identity of the people, you know, because they got families and all that shit. And what was I gonna say? So he did that to protect the people and the families. Damn, we should close that door. Getting loud. All right. So he took the audio out to protect the people in the video and their families. The room is dark for the comfort of the fucking alien or J-Rod, whatever. Off to the side, we can't see him, but there's a telepath. So because these things talk through telepathy, right?
I've heard about that before.
Yeah, and off to the side is a red chair. We really can't see it, and that's just for witnesses or, you know, people that are just gonna be there. And the back are screens, right? And the thing about this alien was they would only interview it in between 3 to 5 months, and they would only interview it twice. You know what I'm saying? Because if you interview it any more than that, it starts getting frustrated. It doesn't want to communicate no more. You know what I'm saying? So they had to kind of respect it.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's...
What the hell?
Yeah.
I've seen that shit before.
And the fucking employees would fight each other for the questions. They're like, well, I want to ask it this. I want to ask it this. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy part was it was all going through a telepath that would talk to it. And the crazy part was the telepath, it's going to sound crazy, but it's just some dude that they hired from 1-800 telepath. Oh, shit. Just some dude that claims he knows how to do it. Just because they were so ignorant or they weren't knowledged in that area. Mm-hmm. They're like, well, let's just hire somebody who supposedly can do it. But supposedly that they would talk, you know, but they would ask it questions, you know, about its ship, because, you know, the government, no, hell no. Listen, the government's only worried about the technology. They don't give a fuck about this thing. Right. You know, how the fuck did you make that shit, right? This thing was only concerned about spiritual concepts. Damn. That's all it wanted to talk about. It didn't, you know, it would talk about its technology, but it would just say very vague shit like, oh yeah, just simple shit. Yeah. But they want to go deep. They're like, no, tell us how the propulsion system works. But then this thing would just start talking spiritual. No shit. What else? Yeah, that's all it gave a fuck about was spiritual concepts. And it would say, and there's actually a reconstruction on it, was they were asking it about its ship, and then
The human body
the telepath would say,
is a vehicle.
it's telling us that we are vessels, that we are souls in a
Must
vessel.
be maintained.
But when we die, we
serve
reincarnate. Our soul goes into
spirit.
another vessel, and we just keep doing that. Right? And so they're like, well, fuck it. Let's talk to it
But a
about what it wants to talk
broken
about. And it got into some crazy ass shit, bro. It started saying basically our meat, right, is a vessel. It's a temporary vessel so our soul can mature. And basically what it is wine. Let's say wine, right? You put it in a barrel so it can mature. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
So basically our soul is like wine. It's getting put into this barrel or vessel, or another word, container, so our soul can mature into its up until it reach a certain point of maturity, and we can supposedly level on to the next level. That is what this fucking creature wanted to talk about. That to me makes way more sense than a lot of the.
Man, there's a lot of connection there with Thoth, the Latin, and then also Yeshua, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Why they were also into that stuff a lot as well. So man, there's some type of universal knowledge going on there. Something that's connecting it all together. But that's crazy.
Yes, it does connect. And so basically what this thing's trying to say is that we are disposable vehicles. You know, our soul, or the meat, is a vehicle, and our soul is the passage that goes wherever. And there's actually a religion called Heaven's Gate. I don't know if you heard about it. Lil Uzi Vert wanted to be a part of it. But they had the same belief system. They had the same ideology that we are the same thing, you know, vessels. Our soul is just here temporarily inside of it, and then till we move on, right? And then, well, the thing about the Heaven's Gate was a comet was coming at a certain time, and they had to commit suicide so their spirits can attach to the comet, so they can ride the universe to a whole nother destination. Because if not, they'll fall right back onto Earth. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
But the crazy part about that was I can't remember the exact number, but it was more.
Crazy.
But it was more than 30 people committed suicide with Nike Cortezes, the comet was gonna pass a certain day. 30 people gathered in a house, and they all drank poison and died. I'll put that on the screen, but they did that because
where they get that knowledge from,
right?
That knowledge, y'all.
Let me show
you.
you.
Know what I'm talking about.
That ideology. You put Heaven's
that's
Gate mass. Dude, it was crazy, bro. They did a mass suicide, bro. To catch onto that comet, so their spirit. Look, and they're all wearing Nike Cortez, all of them. Nike actually made a shoe about this case. Oh, yeah, and they all put a purple blanket on top of them. Like, they all did the same thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and their whole ideology was, that was the leader of the cult right there. Forgot his name. 39 victims, bro. All gathered up in a house to commit suicide. Crazy, right? But the crazy part was about 39 people.
39.
That's a shitload of people just to commit suicide. That's a mass suicide, bro.
Numerology.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
Something's going on there, right? So the problem with this fucking being was a lot of people watch the video and they feel bad for the alien, you know, because they're not taking care of it right. You know, at one point it looks like it's falling over, and then they help it. Well, the problem with that was, it wasn't that, you know, they're trying to treat it bad or anything. It's just they don't know what the fuck is going on with it, you know? It has a whole different biology, you know? So it was just the lack of intelligence or its medical aid that why they couldn't really help it whenever, you know, it started falling over.
Probably like, damn,
they're just like, what the fuck is,
That's all they were worried about.
Mm-hmm. So basically what happened with how Victor even snuck this out of the fucking Area 51, right? Because that's pretty crazy, right? He was in charge of transferring the videos from analog to digital copy for storage. So basically, they're just trying to upgrade their system. They're trying to pass this video from an old system and put it into the new one. Right. So he was in charge of doing that shit, right? Well, he came up on, he made a copy. He made a copy of the VHS tape, put it in his pocket, and then just fucking walked out with it. You know what I'm saying? That's how he was able to obtain this video, which is fucking, good reasonable. And Bob
that makes sense though.
Yeah, and Bob Lazar also worked at the same facility, and also said he heard about that alien. You know what I'm saying? Another guy that Lazar. Yeah. But yeah. Man, let me see what else I got. Let me see.
Yeah, Bob Lazar, he's got some interesting stuff too.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing. Hold on. Let me get into this right here. So, in December of 1994, someone leaked a classified document from Area 51. This is it's actually a book. Let me show you this right here. A book. It is called Extraterrestrial Entities and Technologies Recover and Disposal, Top Secret, Majestic Eyes Only. Someone leaked this book to a ufologist. You know what I'm saying?
You need to cop that.
Man, bro, I saw it on. If it's for sale, but for like $130.
What? For real?
Yeah, it leaked a book to this ufologist and said this is what we read within Area 51. So one page that's in that book is this one right here. It's called right here, Top Secret, Majestic Eyes Only. It says once the OPNAC team has taken custody of the Eve, which is an extraterrestrial biological entity, their care and transportation to designated facility becomes the responsibility of the OPNAC, which is basically the people personnel. Every cooperation will be extended to the team to carry out duties. OPNAC team personnel will be given top priority at all regards of their apparent rank or status. No person has the authority to interfere with hold on. Okay, right here. In dealing with any living extraterrestrial biological entity, EBE, security is paramount importance. All other considerations are secondary. Although is preferable to maintain physical well-being of the entity, the loss of EBE life is considered acceptable if any condition or delays become to life. Damn. So basically saying if they have these aliens, but their main concern is not to keep them alive. If something happens and they gotta let it go, fuck it. Or if it starts acting hostile, they can fucking just kill it. Or all they're worried about is it's fucking technology, bro. And that kind of pisses me off too.
Yeah. That's.
And when we watch the video, bro,
ignorant as fuck.
Even if you do, even if they do, man, catch it, they should at least let it go. Like, I don't know, it's like they kept it prisoner. But look, let's get into
no wonder they don't come around,
right? We're just gonna we just want their technology, bro. We don't even give a fuck about them and shit. So Victor, this is the way he presented himself whenever because they told him at least let us see your fucking or give us a testimony. Yeah. This guy just wants to sell the tape and dip. They're like, bro, we'll buy the tape, but give us at least a testimony. So that's how he came out. Just a black face.
You got that testimony?
Yeah. It's a movie. There's a whole movie. Shit. It's on. Yeah, you can watch it on YouTube. But yeah, they're asking him questions, and he gets mad when you ask certain questions. They're like, how long did you work in Area 51? He's like, I told you guys I'm not gonna answer that. And they'll ask him like, how many times did you visit Area 51? He said, I told you guys are asking questions that I told y'all not to ask me because those questions will pinpoint him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It got to the point where he said, this interview is terminated. And then he left, but then they're like, all right, well, we won't ask those questions again. You know what I'm saying? And then someone on Reddit, dude, I fucking love Reddit. They lightened his picture, and look, it looks like this guy. And you know who this guy is? He's a ufologist who worked on reverse engineering a spacecraft. But then he came out, and said that, he became a ufologist, but he has worked on reverse engineering, anti-gravity, those kinds of crazy topics, and they confronted him about it. They're like, "Hey, are you Victor?" And he denies it,
That's crazy.
And this guy's name is what's his name? Stan Dale. And you can actually look up Stan Dale. He's been in the UFO community since the 70s, I want to say.
Damn.
But this is who they believe he is.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, bro. Like that's the picture I showed you. Right, that, and then someone just lightened the fuck out of it, and they got that image, and then it looks just like him. The same hairstyle, right? Hold on, let me see what else I got right here.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's like 80 some years old.
No shit.
He's still alive. And the crazy part is, so they took this video, right? Because and they investigated the fuck out of it, bro. I'm talking about they took it to Hollywood makeup artists. They took it to video editing specialists to prove or to see if this video is real or fake. When they investigated it, what is it called, through the video, there was no cuts. It's just one video, right? And the makeup artist. Hold on, let me see. The makeup artist, his name was John Criswell. He has done, like his expertise in, Hollywood makeup is crazy, right? He says that he could remake that and then do it better. But when they ask him, "We'll do it," he won't do it. But he did say there is one thing that he can't mimic about it, is the movements of the fucking alien.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I look at it and I ain't gonna lie, bro. It kind of looks like a puppet.
Yeah.
The way the head kind of just does this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we got to add a lot of factors. It's not within its own realm. What is the gravity on here doing to it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Affects it. Like
And
the oxygen and all that shit.
Exactly. Right? So we don't really know much about it, but my opinion is, man, if I was a skeptic, which I'm not, I believe it's real, but if I was a skeptic, I would see how they just believe it's just someone doing this. Just kind of doing some dumb shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, no one to this day has come forward to say that this, or that they made this puppet, or they haven't even found the puppet, itself. Because they would have found it by now. As much as they done investigated this case, it got so deep that the people, the medics and the telepath have been identified, and they were working at Area 51. You know what I'm saying? So
Damn.
yeah, so no, to this day, no one has replicated the video. The doll has never come up. But the people who worked, who were the doctors and the telepath and the witnesses who were all in that room have already been named.
Yeah.
The only one who hasn't been named is fucking Victor. We think it's him, right?
Yeah.
But what if it's not? He denies it. He says it's not me. It looks like me, but I promise you that's not me, right? But but that's probably what someone would say, right?
Of course that nigga's gonna say that shit.
Right? Yeah. And then he went on Art Bell's show, and Victor, he went on the Art Bell show. It was a radio call-in show. He showed up on the radio show too, but man, this dude was pissed off, but because all the videos they made about him, they're calling him a fraud, and he was saying, "Well, if I'm a fraud, prove me wrong. I find the doll, find the guy who made it, redo it, show me that you can do it better."
Yeah.
And man, he said something that really tripped me out because Art Bell told him, "Did you see what John Criswell, the Hollywood makeup artist, said about your video?" And he said something that really fucking tripped me out. He said, well, because John Criswell said that he can do that video better. And then he said, of course he would say that because he's a Hollywood makeup artist. Of course he would say that because he has to prove that. But let's see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I put myself in his shoes. Of course he would say that because he's a fucking makeup artist.
Right.
That's like if someone's making more money than you or someone's making less money than you and they're flexing. Of course they're gonna say they got more bread than you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to convince you. You know what I'm saying?
Let's see it then.
Let's see it then. And this dude was pissed off because they're calling him a fraud and all that shit. And he also said, well, how about y'all find me? You know what I'm saying? But man, like 20 years later, bro, this case is still ongoing. And I'm gonna tell you some crazy ass shit that also happened real recently about this video. But basically, look, let's get into the numbers because within the video there's numbers. Right there. DNI 2704003422.
All right.
Right? DNI stands for Department of Naval Intelligence. So that's already pretty crazy. 27, there's a debate on that. People who have worked within the government say 27 is the level of presidency. Basically saying if you're a level 15, you need to leave the room while this video is going to be played. So they believe it's...
Okay.
And not only that, Richard Doty confirmed that the number 27 is presidential level. So that means if me and you are level 12 and they're about to play this video, they're going to say this is for level 27 only. We have to leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So supposedly
that makes sense.
And not only that, there's also presidential videos and interviews where the number 27 is also at the bottom.
No shit.
You know what I'm saying? And then the rest is just, the time. They're 4 hours in. You know what I'm saying? He's only recording the last 3 minutes of a 4 hour, recording.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And the crazy part about this is, there's numbers right there. But did you know at that time, to get those numbers on that screen, it costed you $6,000 just to get those fucking numbers on your tape. So basically, if someone was to fraud this, they would have to put up $6,000 just to fucking replicate that. And we're talking about in 1991 because that was when the video was recorded. And the only people who had these numbers were governments and high level Hollywood movies.
That's crazy.
So that's another crazy subject right there. If this is a hoax, they invested some bread, and then makeup artists have looked at this video and they said if this was a fraud, it's probably around the $150,000 to recreate this little 3-minute video. And who the fuck is gonna do that in 1990? Just to do some dumb, nah. I don't believe. I believe it's real, right?
Nah. Yeah, I see it now.
But recently, man, we just got a brand new leak. Like, man, bro, like I would even ask the people to help. So, remember what I was telling you about Stan Dale? How it looks just alike, or the guy looks like the victor. Supposedly that it wasn't really him. That someone leaked out the guy's name, Victor. That they leaked out who he was, and supposedly the guy Victor, his real name is Staten John Willett with 2 T's. That this is the guy that's Victor. And the reason they know that is because someone called and say, hey, I know who gave that video to Rocket Studios. This is his name, and that's all I can give you. And that's all. And that's all we got to work off. There's a whole Reddit channel about it. They were trying to find out who the fuck Staten John Willett is. And the one thing that is very credible that you know what I'm saying, why they even took that into consideration is because the Area 51 gate guard, he's been working the gate guard for over 50 years, bro. He's just been a gate guard. And he said, and he even came out and said during 1970 and 1999, I believe, there was a guy entering by the name of Stanton John Willett. So he said, so he fits within that time frame of when this thing was recorded. So basically, yeah, there is a guy named, but now the thing is trying to find him. They, they done found people in Florida with that name, and Louisiana, Texas. They find a shitload of them now. Which one is it? That they're trying to pinpoint that this is that this is the guy.
Damn, that's crazy, nigga. They really trying to find it.
Hey, bro, people have spent years on this video, bro. And
that's a crazy ass video. I ain't seen that one in a long time.
Yeah, shit, I ain't seen that one in a long time too.
I seen it a while back, but I never was into it like that.
I never realized how hidden it is. Like, how can I explain it? Like it's out there, man. And honestly, man, I've came to the conclusion, man, and I've been a a UFO and alien believer since I was a child. But man, I've came to the conclusion a lot of the shit we're looking at is fake. Like a lot of the UFO videos or alien videos that I've seen have all been debunked. And what I mean by debunk is they've actually found the DAW, where it was recorded, who was the makeup artist, all that shit. But I don't give up on it, right? But I do know there's a lot of hoaxes out there, and I can't.
Oh, yeah.
I have to be real too. Just because I believe them, I can't just believe everything. Nah, there's hoaxes out there, and there's good ones. But this is one of them that I don't that I believe is 100% true.
That shit.
This one
And these motherfuckers right here. These elongated skulls.
That already right there proves another existence. Another form of human.
Right there. And they try to debunk this shit as well. They try to debunk it all. I mean, that's good though. That way we ain't falling for lies and shit. But then you get shit that you just can't debunk.
Exactly.
Can't debunk it.
This one, the video I showed you, no one has. They haven't even tried to debunk it because nobody has fucking made the video, or no one's even found the doll at least. Yeah. A lot of the other alien pictures that I had and I thought were, classified and snuck out of 51. Hell no, they done found the doll. They found who made it, all that shit. This one, fuck no, to this day has not been found. That one, it was released in 1996. That was when Victor sold it to Rocket Studios. But
that's pretty good quality.
But it was recorded in 1991. What? But released in 1996. That's when he snuck it out. But man, trust me, I've lost a lot of hope for the alien community because a lot of shit is hoax, but this right here, and the Jonathan Reed case, that one we talked about the first episode.
Oh, yeah.
Those two debunked, they can't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They cannot. You know what I'm saying? And, but yeah, man, that's man, they're actually working on trying to replicate it, but with 2025 technology. Well, fuck, I'm down. I can't wait to see that shit. Long? Right? Imagine.
Nah, there ain't no way, nigga.
There ain't no way they're gonna redo that shit.
Time,
Yeah, the good thing is the doctors and the telepath have been identified. They done already. A lot of those people are dead. You know what I'm saying? It's been fucking damn near 30 years or 20 years, whatever. But a lot of them are dead. But they'll call their wives and be like, "Hey, I just want to confirm, did your husband at this certain time, in 1991 to 1996, did he work in Area 51? And they'll say, "Oh yeah, but my husband never told me what he ever did. He just told me he worked at a facility out in Nevada." Damn. And that's Area 51.
That's crazy ass shit, man.
It's some real crazy ass shit.
Crazy ass shit.
And the crazy part is, even to this day, it's still an ongoing investigation. The shit has not stopped, and it won't stop. They're making a whole movie about it. They're recreating it right now.
I'll be ready to see that.
I'll be ready to see that shit with 2025 technology, bro.
Be crazy right there.
Imagine
that.
Yeah,
I can't believe it took them this long.
Yeah. And that dude's made many appearances since that 1996. He comes out every 10 years. So 1996, he came out in 2006. No, he came out in 2008, I believe, and he did an interview. But man, this dude, he's very short tempered. He was just pissed off, you know what I'm saying, about how people are calling him a hoax, and he's just always saying, "Well, prove me wrong, make the video, whatever."
And they can't.
And they can't. And then but yeah, man, those are really the only appearances he's ever made, and he's really hid his identity,
Still
bro.
hidden.
How the fuck can you hide? Damn, that's crazy to me,
Pretty
bro.
good though. That's pretty good. He'd probably be dead unless they have found him and he's already gone.
Yeah, but he did say, whenever he dies, the world will know his identity. That his lawyers are ready for when that happens.
shit.
When he dies, his identity will be brought out.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, that his lawyers are ready. They're all lined up, and when he dies, then we'll know who the fuck exactly it was. But right now, we believe it's what was it, John? That is Stanton John Willett with 2 T's.
Damn.
Still trying to figure out who the fuck he is, and
That's crazy.
hopefully from there we can find out who he is. And I know they'll bug the shit out of him for an interview. But hell yeah.
Hell yeah, my nigga.
But hey, man, all this shit links up.
Yeah, it does.
The fucking
It does.
elongated skull people. These motherfuckers.
That shit links up. It all does. It does. link
Just intelligence that's not human. You know what or that's not
And somehow it
And
just
some
all
of us.
ties together somehow. Like,
and the crazy part is man, I've it's been a while, but I've read stories about how like elongated skull people and the gods from back then. One thing they really loved and fucked with was spirituality.
yeah, they did.
So when they say that about this alien, that they're
that-
trying to interrogate
That
it.
threw me off. I was like, damn, I wasn't expecting that. But I mean, I should have. I
Yeah,
should have.
that's crazy. Imagine interrogating something and all it wants to talk about is fucking spirituality.
It's like, wake up. Nigga.
It's like, fuck that
nah,
spacecraft.
they were all the ancient people and stuff. They were very into
Spiritual.
spirituality.
That's crazy.
There's an
Uh-huh.
objective that they're trying to do, and they're trying to bring back the Christ
Consciousness. huh?
consciousness,
I heard about that.
peace and all that back here on Earth and throughout the universe. Man, that's a whole another thing right there. But I've been into that shit.
We're just vessels. Fuck. Imagine that fucking thing just.
Avatars, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's not as harsh as it sounds though. It
Yeah.
sounds pretty harsh, but man, there's something else there.
I fuck with that idea though. We're spirits in a vessel, maturing. Our soul is basically in school right now. That to me is insane, bro.
Nah, it makes sense though.
And that even matches up with like, well, not 100%, but with Christianity. You supposed to be here so you can be good. You're so
Really
you're
learn and get lessons from here.
yeah. And if
because
you
they're trying to, like I said, that alien knows what's up. He's trying to push
Help
that
us.
peace and stuff here instead of
worrying about a craft.
we're over here destroying each other. Exactly. You see what I mean?
Craft,
That
no
humanity ain't ready to grow. You're just gonna keep coming back until you're ready to get to the next level, which you're forgetting all that bullshit material.
Man,
shit.
I'll send you the video, bro. They're asking it questions like, "How does your ship work?" And the thing is just like, we are vessels, or you guys are vessels, are disposed. It's like, bro, that fool's getting frustrated. I don't give a fuck about that shit.
Man.
How the fuck your ship work?
Damn, that's crazy.
That's crazy, but that's just a perfect representation of people, man.
Yeah, that's crazy ass shit right there.
No peace, all war.
You see, we ain't ready.
No
We're not
love,
ready.
all war.
Christ ain't gonna return anytime soon.
Shit, wow. We can't even.
No, we're still a long way. We're barely crawling. If that, we might have just barely learned how to start crawling. We're trying to get to the golden age. Humanity has been at the golden age plenty of times.
Man, but people are
We-
so disconnected from their spirits, huh?
We always end up falling and shit like that. It's always,
Man.
and that's why history is important, because that way you don't make the same mistakes. Right now, we're probably in the like I said, we're just
Bottom.
humanity is just crawling right now. Yeah.
But it's crazy how fucking broken the society is, Like, we're far away from spirituality.
Oh,
Like the
yeah.
music they play, the shit all the subliminal messages they put in.
Yeah,
movies.
but also these people are keeping us like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're keeping us like that, bro.
The music they play it at a certain frequency so we can
Yeah.
so our spirit can be on the low end, you know what I'm
They
saying? So it's
changed
not
the
vibrating
hertz.
high, the hertz.
The hurts of it.
Forgot how much it was. It was like 380 or 340, something like that.
They're not playing it.
And you can even put that on.
I think it used to be at 432.
Hey, bro, and you won't believe who changed that. John D. Rockefeller.
No shit.
I swear to
You
God.
see?
I
Hey,
swear to they know what they're
what?
doing, bro.
Nah, he knows what he's doing.
Watch out. There's a you can look it up on like to artificial intelligence, the AI. But like who changed the vibration?
shit.
Let's
That
say
same
John D.
dude changed that
Rockefeller.
shit?
The same
this
dude.
Motherfucker showing up everywhere. Nah,
Hey,
you
he's
see-
got a crazy story,
They
and
know
and
what's up, bro.
one day
We're gonna
I'm
cover
gonna
him.
cover him because hey, you could talk about 5 hours about that dude.
I'm
That
ready
dude,
for that. But damn, I didn't know that.
yeah, John D. Rockefeller
Damn,
changed that.
yeah, he knows
changed
what
that
he's
standard.
doing.
He knows exactly what
He
he's
knows
doing.
What he's doing, bro.
But a lot of that happened was when he started fucking with these elongated school people, bro.
They taught him something.
They taught him. That's exactly what I'm trying to. Where I was going. They taught his ass something. Because once he met up with him, his fucking like his something in him just clicked, and he started rocket like took off like a rocket with info and all kinds of shit going on.
There's all kinds of knowledge out there. And
But yeah.
Thoth, that Latian priest king, the one who built the pyramids, he had created a school called the Egyptian Mystery Schools.
Wow.
And Akhenaten, he actually went to those schools himself.
Okay.
And so did Yeshua, Jesus.
Oh, shit.
He went to them same schools.
Oh shit.
And man, I'm reading this book. It's called the 12 Gospels, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's all about Jesus.
Hmm.
And I had just got done reading the 12 emerald tablet or the emerald tablets of Thoth. And what I'm finding is a connection and what Jesus is saying that Thoth had said. So, man, I can see how he went to them schools, and he says some of the same.
Oh shit.
Like we're beings of light and
Yeah.
peace and love and all this stuff. Man, it's real interesting. But I'm wondering if also, these other beings, they knew about these mystery schools as well, and they're teaching that dude, who was it, Rockefeller, about the hertz and stuff like that.
Yeah, John D. Rockefeller.
Yeah, they probably they're teaching him stuff.
Oh, hell yeah, he took over.
He's using that knowledge is power. Well, the use of knowledge is power, and man, he's putting that out there.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Hell yeah. Shit, man. I like how that shit connected. But shit, hell yeah, we'll end it right there.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up right there.
All right, hell yeah.